heard of Harry Styles. Big payments from his company after some strong touring. £24.5 million worth of tax we've been able to identify. Further down the list, we're seeing Premier League footballers creeping into the list now. It doesn't matter where you come from to play from in the Premier League. You will pay PAYE national insurance on your contribution. So Erling Haaland at Man City, the Norwegian player, and Mo Salah at Liverpool, they break it onto the list for the first time.
The new Sunday Times tax list has just been published. Much like the paper's famous rich list, this ranks wealthy people and their money, but specifically how much they have to pay to the taxman. And there are some fascinating names on there and some fascinating insights into how, well, very rich people function, basically. Let's speak to Robert Watts, who compiles the list for the Sunday Times. Hello, Robert.
Morning, Callum.
It's so good to see you. I love this time of year. I love the lists from the Sunday Times. So let's get into it. In fact, let's start with how you compile the list, where we get the information from, how you bring it all together.
Well, it's a trawl through thousands of documents, Companies House and other public documents, but also a lot of these people talk to us about their liabilities, and yes, even some of them do send us their tax returns.
Is that right?
That does happen as well. But we look at, what do we look at? We look at personal taxation, so identifiable salaries, dividends these people receive, but we also look at their companies, because a lot of these people have set up these companies, so we count the corporation tax their companies pay, their national insurance contributions, things like that, any other tax. There are some companies who go above and beyond in terms of disclosing absolutely every penny of tax. They do business rates and climate change levy and all sorts of things like that.
Shall we go on then to some of the names? Because lots of these people will be recognisable and some perhaps won't be. They'll be lesser known. Who are the new entrants, I suppose, onto the tax list for 2025?
Well, I think it's always a blend of famous faces and sort of hidden heroes of the economy that you and I haven't heard of. So we've all heard of Harry Styles. Big payments from his company after some strong touring. £24.5 million worth of tax we've been able to identify. Further down the list, we're seeing Premier League footballers creeping into the list now. It doesn't matter where you come from to play from in the Premier League. You will pay PAYE national insurance on your contribution. So Erling Haaland at Man City, the Norwegian player, and Mo Salah at Liverpool, they break it onto the list for the first time. But as I say, we do pick up these really surprising sort of hidden heroes of the economy. So ever heard of Ross McMahon?
No.
Entrepreneur, Irish son of a farmer in the Lake District. He bought for £1 Heinz's old baby milk factory in Kendal. He's now turned it into a very successful business. Last year, that business paid £13.3 million worth of corporation tax and employers' national insurance. And there are others. Former bakers who've made successful business. A husband and wife, the Seatons, who built a teaching aids business from their kitchen in their Sheffield home. So it's a mix of famous faces, aristocrats, self-made entrepreneurs, celebrities.
It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money being paid by these people.
It is a lot of money.
And that perhaps defies expectation, I suppose, when we think of kind of celebrities or high-profile and wealthy people, that actually they will take any action possible to hide their money and pay as little tax as possible.
Well, look, we know our readers like looking at the Sunday Times Rich List, one of the other big lists that we produce, and the Sunday Times Tax List, and look who's at the top of one and who's at the top of other. And it is different names, and sometimes they're good reasons for that. But here's an interesting thing we've spotted this year. 1 in 9 on the people on the Sunday Times tax list this year are now based offshore. They're based in places like Dubai and Monaco and Switzerland and the Channel Islands. Now, clearly, these people are paying shed loads of tax. You needed to have contributed £11 million to the public finances over a year to make it onto this list. But if you move offshore, yes, your UK companies will still pay a lot of tax, but your personal taxes will be significantly lower. Possibly you won't pay any personal tax in the UK at all. So that is an interesting little issue for the Chancellor, perhaps.
Yes, indeed. And that's the thing, is it connects very much with politics and policy making, doesn't it? Do people drop off the tax list when they move abroad and things? Do you notice those sorts of trends that people will be on it maybe for a year or two and then suddenly they've gone?
we nerds talk about churn in a list,
Right.
And so this year there are 11 new entries in R100. There are about 13, I think, of people who are re-entries. Often, actually, you see a lot more change in the tax list because sometimes these people will pay themselves a big dividend one year, £50 million dividend one year. They won't pay themselves a dividend for 3-4 years. So there's a big hit in one year, but there's some ever present. So I think I've identified 15 individuals and families who've been in every single tax list, and the sums that they've contributed are huge over the years.
Yeah. Talk to us a little bit then about how we can access all the info. How it's online now. The tax
Online
list?
now, yeah, the entire tax list. You can get to on the Sunday Times, on Times and Sunday Times website now. It'll be all in the paper tomorrow, and there's some fun bits. There's a big piece on Premier League footballers and their finances and their contributions, and there's a hilarious interview with Tim Martin. Would you believe it?
Of Wetherspoons fame.
Of Wetherspoons. Would you believe it? The average tax contribution of each Wetherspoons pub has just tipped over £1 million a year
Per pub.
per pub.
How interesting. That is really interesting. Can I ask a perhaps silly question? So we talk about Harry Styles and how much tax did he pay? 20 odd million quid?
Just over 24, yeah.
How do you pay a £24 million tax bill?
Well, this is the extraordinary thing. Often they do it through PAYE.
I see. Okay.
Bigger
Fine.
that. So through the self-assessment scheme. So one of the bigger examples of that is J.K. Rowling, the Harry Potter creator. £47.5 million, all paid with the help of a self-assessment tax form. One of those forms you and I have got to get in by the end of the day. Have you done yours yet, Callum?
Oh yeah, thankfully, my accountant sorted it out because I don't understand these things, Robert. I have a basic understanding, but we did it before Christmas, so we were all in the clear.
Very sensible.
Thank you. And I have to say, my contribution seems like an absolute pittance in comparison to
I'd not miss you. I shouldn't have you on.
No, it's certainly not. No. Certainly not. It's so good to see you, Robert. Thank you, and congratulations, because it's such an absolute mountain of work that you do on these things. It's amazing. So thanks for bringing it to us.
Thanks a lot, Callum.
That is Robert Watts, who compiled the Sunday Times tax list. J.K. Rowling, by the way, the equivalent of 130 grand a day in tax.